we will not be average. When you have no motivation, discipline shall prevail. Discipline is 1,000 times more important than motivation. Discipline is doing the hard things in life even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't have any motivation. We've had a minor setback. I relapsed on weed. But before we get into that, let me know your longest streak. One of the main causes for my relapse and my minor setback was my environment. I did not set up. We are products of our environments. So if you want to be successful, you have to set yourself up for success. And that falls all the way down to your daily habits, the things that you see on a daily basis, those little things that you do or do not do. They all add up. They add up monumentally, and they dictate a very large portion of your willpower and your ability to complete things and stay true to your desires and what you genuinely want, and not just giving in to instant gratification. The main issue with my relapse is I did not set my environment up for success. I still were hanging out with people that smokers. I was still doing things that people did who smoked. Even if I wasn't smoking, I'd still be around people while they were smoking. I'd still hang out with people while they were smoking or doing things that didn't fit my image of who I wanted to be, the man I wanted to become, and the man I will become. And that's a big mistake. That's a huge mistake. How are you going to say you're going to be something yet you're going along with the crowd? How are you supposed to be different? How are you supposed to set yourself apart from everybody else yet you're with everybody else, doing everything everybody else is doing? It doesn't make sense. If you want to be different, you have to act different, you have to do different. Not only must you set your environment up for success, but you also need to have a plan for your time. If you just have hours and hours of free time and you haven't allocated those hours to doing anything productive or working towards your goal, what are the chances that you're really going to do the things that you need to do over the things that you might want to do or think you want to do? You need to have a plan for your time. Just like you need to have a plan for your money, you need to have a plan for your time, you need to have a plan for your energy. When you break a bad habit, or any habit for that matter, you then gain an allotted amount of time. You need to find something to replace that time, do something productive with that time, or else you're still going to be counterproductive just sitting on your ass doing nothing. So you must have a plan for that time and do something productive with those newfound hours. Another reason for my relapse is I wanted to hang out with certain people that I didn't know how else we would connect. Every day somebody would ask me like, hey, you want to match? Hey, let's smoke and hang out. And it would just eat at me like, damn, I want to hang out with this person. I'd like to experience this person. I'd like to learn about this person. However, if you cannot build a genuine connection with somebody without drugs, without alcohol, without doing something that's not beneficial to your health or your success, there is no need for that person in your life. A huge issue I had when I first began trying to stop smoking was I'd have one slip up and I would look at it as a failure. But it wasn't a failure. I was slowing down. That's how you need to look at it. You need to look at it as, okay, I used to smoke 3-4 times a day, which I did. I would smoke 3 to 5 woods a day. And that's just if I smoked by myself, let alone if I went and smoked with friends. So if I smoked one time, I'd look at it as a failure when it's really not. Maybe I smoked once out of 3 days. I drastically cut down the amount that I was smoking. I drastically reduced my wasted hours, my wasted money. The goal is to stop. That doesn't mean it's going to be instant. That doesn't mean you're just going to switch like that and be done with a habit. Sometimes you will be, sometimes you can. But if you cannot, that does not mean it's a failure because you had one slip up. You just have to keep working on making the amount of times you do this bad habit go down and down and down till eventually you don't do it ever again. I would also have this toxic mindset of wanting to reward myself with smoking when I was on track, when I was doing the things I needed to do. I don't know if you're like me, but when I do something, I go hard with it. If I like something, I have an addictive personality towards it, and I become kind of obsessive with it, more like an obsessive personality. So yeah, it might just seem like something little, like, oh, I've been doing really well. Why not smoke one time? It's not like I'm going to end up smoking again. It's not like I'm just going to gain this habit again. But that's exactly what ends up happening. You think you can reward yourself for doing well with the habit that you're doing well not doing. It's counterproductive, counterintuitive. You need to find something else to reward yourself. Maybe you go see a movie. Maybe you go out to eat. something other than the habit that you're trying to break, something that's not going to be detrimental to your future and your success. Because remember, I'm going to be something great. You're going to be something great. We will not be average. Now that we have discussed some of the things that led to my relapse, such as having the wrong environment, being around the wrong group of people, being around smokers, not allocating my time to something productive, and trying to reward myself when I was on track, let's hop into some of the things that happened when I did relapse, some of the issues, some of the concerns that I had as a smoker that came back. One of the main reasons I stopped smoking and wanted to stop smoking so bad originally was I was being complacent. Since a young kid, I always wanted to be great. I always wanted to be rich. I always wanted to find wealth. I wanted to be different. I didn't want an average life. It never seemed appealing to me. But once I started smoking, I became complacent and I was okay with what I had just because, oh, I had a car or oh, I had a house and most people my age didn't, or at least where I live, most people didn't. That doesn't mean I'm on track to be what I want to be. I might be above certain standards, but that does not mean you can be complacent. You should never become complacent in your situation. Complacency kills dreams. Never become complacent. While smoking, I would find myself in the wrong situations around the wrong people. People that had no goals for themselves. People with no desire, no interest, no drive, no masculine energy. They were like NPCs or just living life with no goal, with no core values, with no meaning. They lived life with no meaning. And I would be around these people, I tell myself I'm going to be different. You had to act as if though you already are the person that you want to become. You must manifest what you want. Not only would I become complacent while smoking, I would also lack discipline and motivation. When you have no motivation, discipline shall prevail. Discipline is 1,000 times more important than motivation. Discipline is doing the hard things in life even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't have any motivation. And normally I'm somebody who has a lot of discipline. If I tell myself I'm going to do something, I will do it. However, when I smoked and when I would be high all day, I had no discipline. Why would I want to go do hard things to get dopamine when I could just smoke and release tons of dopamine into my brain just at the flick of a lighter? It doesn't make sense to your brain. It's going to fight and fight and fight to get the easy source of dopamine rather than doing the things that are genuinely worth it in the long run and get the dopamine from those. As everybody knows, smoking, drinking, whatever your drug of choice is, whatever your bad habit is, they all are a waste of money, time, and valuable energy, which are all detrimental factors to becoming successful. You need to be conscious of what you are doing. You cannot be high all the time. You cannot be out of your mind. You must be conscious. You must be present. And that's one of the main reasons men have such a hard time getting girls. But that's for another video. You must be conscious with who you want to become and who you will become. While smoking, I was the same as the next person. I was losing what set me apart from the crowd, what made me different as an individual. Because we're all different in our own ways. But I was losing what genuinely made me different. The drive that I had, the motivation that I had, the things I was willing to do to achieve what I wanted to achieve. I was losing that day by day. Now, if you're smoking week after week, month after month, year after year, you slowly lose who you are completely. And I feel like genuinely I got to that point and I've had to rebuild myself as a man and as a person from the ground. You don't want to get to that point. And if you are at that point, you need to do everything to stop it now and to rebuild that foundation. One of the last and maybe the most important things that happened when I relapsed is I lost confidence in myself. I lost confidence in my ability to speak, my ability to entertain people, to elaborate and articulate my thoughts to the next person. And that's one of my greatest strengths. That's something that has always set me apart, something that I've always had and people always looked up to me for. And I was losing that. I didn't have the confidence to even attempt these things. So all in all, those bad habits, whether it's weed, any other drugs, masturbation, just anything stupid. And you know it's fucking stupid. We both know these habits are stupid. So why continue to do it? They're not worth it. They're wasting your time and they're taking you away from your main goal. The shit that we will achieve. I know I will achieve what I want. Will you?